an event that Ms. Sham did bring. Matthew 19.
But I really would rather you. I know there's nothing I can say is going to change it. You're going to come here every week doing something crazy.
The STR5, I have designed a little T-shirt with all of us on it.
The plan says in a 1 mile radius of campus, we want to be dense and walkable.
He's a man of integrity, he's a man of honor, and I know that in any situation that would be required for him to recuse himself.
This madness, okay? Create an amendment to Ordinance 3288. Allow all zoning should be open to short-term rentals, but the homeowner have to prove their home is their permanent residency.
Two-tier justice system in the city of Auburn when it comes to short-term rentals.
There's some land cleared down on VFW Road, and I hadn't talked to the planning committee.
We stay in a low-income neighborhood with 1,800 to 2,000 square feet. And they clearing out some land and they're putting in a 3,000 to 4,000 square feet house.
Good afternoon, Auburn. My name is Robert Wilkins. This is our 9th edition of Citizens Minutes. It's a beautiful day on the plains of Auburn. Quote of the month is from Martin Luther King Jr. He says, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly." We had 5 citizens speak at the Citizens Open Forum. Topics include the problem of a 2-tier justice system, a proposed amendment to Ordinance 3288 short-term rental, residential overbuild on VFW Road, and the benefit of the Auburn Library.
Everything but what we consider College Edge, which is College and Magnolia proper, which has a full restriction of no residential on the ground floor. One of the challenges is as we grow and densify this area, and remember the comprehensive plan says in a 1 mile radius of campus, we want to be dense and walkable. We need to make sure we're providing services for people. I learned before the university had issues with Cambridge that it was their most popular dorm location. Why? Heyday Market has a good bit to do with it, but so does Publix. And so do the services downtown adjacent that the students that were living there could walk to. And so we see that those are some of the game changers that have happened is since we've changed this, we're also seeing we've had changes in family relationships, and inheritances may change and property may turn. And what we want to be sure we're doing is setting property up for success. And the goal is to pull not full commercial, not like the standard, but to pull some commercial further down Gay Street to allow services to the
Drive, Auburn, Alabama. Good evening, Mayor and Council. 42 months ago, Ordinance 3288 was passed by the STR5. Taylor, Griswold, Anders, Parsons, and Dawson. In conjunction with our city bureaucrats and the impotent STR task force have taken away our constitutional rights and our property rights with 29 smokescreen months of pretend due diligence. Long-term rental is over 31 days, so they could have actually 11 rentals in a year. 80% of the STR income came from 10 Auburn functions, consisting of 7 home football games and 3 graduations. Even the greedy corporate hotels cannot fill the hotel needs on those 10 functions. But the STR5 did not care to help fill the need, instead passed Ordinance 3288 that hinged on a discriminatory zoning practice. The STR5 are responsible for the theft of millions of dollars, the 151 plus families, with 130,000 stolen from my family overall in the 42 months. Linda Dean's ragtag, selfish group, Don't Hotel Our Neighborhood, control the narrative of Councilman Griswold and Councilman Parsons. Every discussion I had with Griswold and Parsons concerning STR, when they would get stumped, they would go back to Mrs. Dean's safe line of defense and say, my home is a hotel because I was getting money. Their only defense. Griswold and Parsons says, this is a hotel. This is my house and my wife's house. Okay? What's a real hotel? This is a real hotel. This is the new Graduate Hotel, known by many as the Anders Hotel. Mayor should have recused from the STR vote. Griswold and Parsons said, this is a hotel. This was former Councilman Steve Dixon's home, by the way, who recused himself from STR vote, something the mayor should have done. Now this is a real hotel. This is the hotel at Auburn University. But I have a simple solution for this madness, okay? Create an amendment to Ordinance 3288. Allow all zoning should be open to short-term rentals, but the homeowner have to prove their home is their permanent residency. But if they have multiple homes to rent in the city, they will be commercial STR and fall under the zone restrictions already in place. This would solve all the issues of the Don't Hotel Our Neighborhood Payne Street issue and restore the remaining 151 remaining families their property and their constitutional rights.
I've known the mayor for quite some time and worked with him the last 2 years, and I know the man of integrity, he's a man of honor, and I know that in any situation that would be required for him to recuse himself, he would have done so, and certainly would have supported his position then, and I would support it now, as far as recusing himself or not recusing himself. And the man I know him to be is honorable, and I know he would do the right thing in that situation. So I just wanted to put that out there.
I don't know what you're talking about there. I've never stolen anything in my life. I don't tend to start now at this age. And I think before you get up here and say things you say, you should make sure you got your facts right. And the 3-minute speaking is not meant to attack an individual person. It's meant to speak your problem that you may have, and we can try to find a solution to it. But we're not going to find what the STR stuff is passed. Unless somebody brings it back up to change it. But I really would rather you. I know there's nothing I can say is going to change it. You're going to come here every week doing something crazy. So, but I wish you would refrain from accusing me of stealing anything from the city or from using my position for anything. And as far as the mayor, I've been knowing the mayor a long time, and he's got more sense than to do something like that. And I think that hotel was looked at some other spaces before they finally settled on that space, didn't they?
It was about the 5th location. The hotel was also approved nearly a year before the short-term rental ordinance was adopted.
Exactly. So I don't know where that's coming from, but I understand you have your right to come say what you want to say, but you don't have to attack a person's individual character. Like I said, you won't pay attention to nothing I say. You never have. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I may as well jump on there as well. You know, when you're trying to make policy, I think everybody up here has done the very best that they can to make a policy that they're comfortable with and that they believe reflects the general will of the constituents in Auburn. The adversarial tone that happens with Mr. Wilkins is it's unfortunate because I can guarantee that none of us up here came to our decisions with any kind of feeling of enjoyment at the dissatisfaction of those people who may have been affected negatively. I think all of us have believe that we're doing the right thing for the vast majority of the people that we represent. I certainly feel that way, and I think the re-election of my subsequent re-election reflects that. The STR5, I have designed a little T-shirt with all of us on it, but only because it's kind of it doesn't reflect the reality of that policy. You know, it's a peculiar thing to be labeled the STR5 insofar as there's a complete disconnect with your willingness to create us as those folk when in fact I don't see myself as those folk at all. I just see myself as a guy trying to interpret the concerns and cares of a lot of people that I represent, and I know you may not agree with this, but I know that the response that I received from the determinations that we made on that policy were overwhelmingly positive. And that's how I can look myself in the mirror every day that I come here and try and do the right thing by the long-term residents and every resident of this city.
Susan Bolt, 1188 East University Drive. This was a great weekend for Auburn football, for some anyway. We still have a two-tier justice system in the city of Auburn when it comes to short-term rentals. I've brought this item to your attention at least 2 times before, yet it's still happening. This is a picture of the mayor's campaign manager's house that is in a prohibited zone, yet he is still doing short-term rentals. I asked these particular people if they indeed rented this house for the weekend, and they told me that they did. Why, Mayor, is your campaign manager still being allowed to do short-term rentals?
He's not my campaign manager.
He was your past campaign manager?
No, he was never my campaign manager.
Interesting.
Yep. Just trying to help you.
Yeah, thank you there. While I miss out on $15,000 for the first 5 football games, how is it, Mayor, that your not campaign manager is still allowed to do short-term rentals? Tonight, I'm making a public report of the infraction at this particular house, who is not your campaign manager, and expect you and the city to enforce the ordinance of the campaign manager or rescind the ordinance and allow all of us to resume our short-term rentals. The Graduate Hotel is now open for business to greet people coming to the city for short-term stays. The Graduate Hotel has 177 rooms. 151 families that were offering short-term rentals were zoned out by Ordinance 3288, thus eliminating approximately 450 rooms provided by those 151 families. With those approximate 450 rooms eliminated from the short-term rental market, people might decide to stay at the Graduate Hotel. Eliminate 450 rooms, redirect them to the Graduate Hotel. The hotel lobby is the largest lobbying group associated with short-term rental industry. Their goal is to decimate the short-term rental industry. Mayor, why didn't you recuse yourself for the vote on the Ordinance 3288? You had an obvious conflict of interest since you were in the process of negotiating a multi-million-dollar land deal with your family property. It should be noted that construction for the hotel property didn't start until after the passage of Ordinance 3288. Is that just an odd coincidence? I don't think so. Mr. Dixon recused himself. Why didn't you? If you had recused yourself due to your conflict of interest, there would not have been a majority vote, and the Ordinance 3288 would not have passed. You needed that ordinance to pass, didn't you? Council, knowing that the ordinance would not have passed if the mayor had recused himself due to a conflict of interest, I am asking you all to do the right thing and rescind Ordinance 3288.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council. My name is Leah Billy Welburn, 112 North DeBartolome 11th Street, Apartment 5. I came up here to say thank you for some of the great things our city has. I was just tonight at the Frank Brown Rec Center, where I've been going to an intermediate volleyball game. It's been a lot of fun. Another program and facility that I'm really grateful for is the public library. I know there have been a lot of folks coming up and making comments, and it sounds like there's been some controversy, but my experience with the library has been nothing but positive the whole way through. I've worked as a nanny in Auburn for 7 or 8 years, and I love bringing the littles to the library. It's always cool to participate in the story time or the other programming that they have for young children. And also it's nice to just see the friendly faces of the librarians. They're always helpful with pointing me towards resources and
Thank you, sir.
showing how we can request items we're interested in to get the collection expanded. As I'm sure y'all are aware, there's a process in place for challenging materials that are inappropriate. It seems that folks who have had objections to library content have done those and found the outcomes lacking. I'm sorry that you have to kind of sit there and listen to complaints, because I feel that our city staff does a great job, including y'all behind the dais. And I know it's a tough gig, and I appreciate y'all for doing it. Thanks.
My name is Cecil Edwards. I live 1560 VFW Road. And about 3 weeks ago, there had been some land cleared down on VFW Road. And I hadn't talked to the planning committee, but I think the thing that I was heard was they're going to build a condo down there. So I guess, should I go to the planning committee first and talk to them?
No, sir, it's a single-family detached house.
It's a single family?
Yes, sir.
15, Ronnie Jackson, 1515 VFW Road. And we stay in a low-income neighborhood with 1,800 to 2,000 square feet. And they clearing out some land and they're putting in a 3,000 to 4,000 square feet house. And that's gonna make the value of our land go up. And most of the senior citizens that stay in the neighborhood, and we were born and raised down there, and we're gonna fix them con. And I don't know how we're gonna be able to handle all of that. That's our neighborhood, and we were born and raised down there. And they put on building $600,000 home. They plan on building all behind our house and all around in our neighborhood, and they're gonna increase the land value and the taxes on our land. And we don't, most of us down there, there's a senior citizen, and we don't fix them con. We need to get we'll come to an agreement on some kind of arrangement.
Sure. I'm not sure what we can do with that. I wasn't aware there was some construction going on down there. If you'd leave your name and address with either Mr. Cotton or Mr. Cummins, we can get back in touch with you later on this week. Is that okay?
Okay, that'll work.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you.
For saying that, Ms. Taylor. And I'm happy. I represent that area. I'm happy to sit down and talk with you guys as well, alongside the city. If you leave your contact information there, I'd be happy to reach out and talk with you as well.
It's one house, and several folks have contacted staff. It is a larger house than you see. There's a lot of traditional family property, a lot of longtime residents that live in the area, but a local builder is coming in. I don't know who they're building the house for, but it's quite a large house sitting on more than a 1 acre parcel. It's slightly larger than an acre parcel. A good bit of the parcel's not buildable, but it is a large house. It's permitted by right.
Citizens Question of the Month from Tom. Do you think we will lose our local independent pharmacy?
In a major move against the pharmaceutical industry, the U.S. Federal Trade Commission is taking legal action against 3 of the country's largest pharmacy benefit managers, or PBMs. The companies are CVS Health's Caremark's RX, Cigna's Express Scripts, and United Health Group's Optum RX. The FTC filed a lawsuit on Friday, accusing them of steering diabetes patients toward higher-priced insulin to secure millions in rebates from pharmaceutical companies. The FTC alleges the companies and their affiliated group purchasing organizations built a system that prioritizes high rebates from drug manufacturers.
We at Auburns Voice have produced 3 videos about the effects that PBMs have had on local pharmacies. You can watch it on YouTube channel. Do something. Governor Ivey's information is attached, and her phone number is 334-242-7100. That's 334-242-7100. Don't call her once, don't call her twice, call her daily. Tell her that you want to save your local pharmacy and request a special session immediately. That is, request a special session immediately. Please make comments or become a guest speaker on Citizens Minutes by going to nextdoor.com or youtube.com. Next council meeting is at 6 p.m. on October the 1st at 141 Ross Street. You should show up or watch on YouTube or listen to WANI radio. Your council is only as good as the information you gather. Until Auburn's Voice.